And
No.
so if your mind is constantly obsessed with these kinds of thoughts of, oh, if this bad outcome happens, then these things are gonna that she's gonna think this, or that's gonna happen, or this is gonna happen. Well, you're already off to a bad start. So you have to really take to be more in the moment and to take that pressure off yourself. You have to master the art of just letting go, and the it's like performing without performing. It's like you are fundamentally going to be a better lover and be more passionate and be more in the moment and be more expressive and enjoy it. And your partner's going to enjoy it more if you truly do not give a shit. That's kind of where you end up getting to. Um, like the guys who and then once you get into that kind of more of a positive feedback loop of not giving a shit, and then your performance improves, well, then you start to tap into the your sexual ego in a way, and you derive more confidence from the fact that you're performing well now, right? And that leads to a more positive upward spiral where anytime you're interacting with a woman, you fundamentally know that you can rock her socks off. You fundamentally know you can rock her world because you've done it before, because you have that sexual confidence. But it starts with fixing this the pressure that we put on ourselves and really giving up. You really fundamentally have to give yourself permission to fail. That's what it really is. Like
Hmm.
because you're just resisting, right? If you're worried so much about your performance, if you're worried so much about failing and all these bad things that can happen, you're really just resisting a hypothetical example or a hypothetical situation. So, okay, instead of resisting, what if instead of resisting that, you just said it's okay if that happened? What if you just allowed it to happen? And what you'll find is if you allow it to happen, it's probably not even going to happen. If you allow yourself to have a bad performance, just give yourself this one time off. Just say, you know what? I don't care if I bust a nut in 30 seconds. You know what? I don't care if I don't get an erection right now. If you and you allow yourself to truly feel that, allow yourself to truly just mark up like this one is going in the L column, and that's okay. Be okay with that. You would be surprised how well you will actually perform and how much that will take away that pressure and start to teach your brain how to actually operate in the bedroom better.
I mean, that's probably helped so many guys listening because, I mean, I don't mind talking about it because to me, it was like a learning experience. You know, when I look back now, it was like two different versions of me. I had the version that was in my head, but then when I got into the moment, it was some of the freakiest sex I'd had at the time, you know. And now when I look at the back, I'm like, you know, we used to do it in pub toilets, on car bonnets. You know, we used to use toys, and like the girls would always be open to trying new things. They would then think about what they wanted to do, and then you know, it's like that two dynamics, and I like that way of. It's like your sexual ego, it's your that confidence, and to this, even now, I cringe when I think about it. But I also look back at it as one of the best experiences of my life because it was two people I adored at the time. But also, it's probably a bad thing because I ended up having feelings for one while I was kind of dating the other one. Yeah, but that's another story. But how do we encourage women to be open in the bedroom? You know, how do we encourage them to chase their desires, to do our own desires? Like, you know, because you've got a great video on introducing BDSM, you know, the dominant stuff, more kind of risque sex kind of stuff. Or maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. You know, like the naughtier side of sex, as some would call it, where to other people it's just bread and butter.